to divorce me. My wife even made a fake account to flirt with me, but her tone and texting habits gave her away. It didn't take long for me to realize that this account named Yin Yin was my wife. On our 7th anniversary, my wife, Liu Ruoyan, handed me a divorce agreement and a stack of proof that I cheated. The photos show chats between me and a college girl named Yanan Li. Ruoyan stood in the living room looking down at me. Since you're that desperate, leave with nothing. I'll let you be with that little girl. I looked at those explicit chat records and didn't explain. I picked up the pen and signed when I left with my suitcase. I didn't expose her. I played along with her fake online romance every day, because after being diagnosed with severe heart failure, I didn't even have the strength to argue through the fake Yanan. It was like I saw the Liu Ruoyan from 7 years ago, the one whose eyes were full of me. Now that the papers were signed, it was time to wake up for the days I had left. I just wanted to wait for death quietly, alone. When I dragged my suitcase out of the villa complex, the security guard leaned out of his booth. "Mister, he going out this late?" I paused and smiled. "Yeah, I'm not coming back." He froze. I didn't explain. I hailed a cab. "Young man, you don't look so good. Want me to take you to the hospital first?" "No need." I pressed my hand against my chest. The doctor said my heart was failing, but really it had loved Liu Ruoyan for me for 7 years, and now it finally refused to keep beating. The cab stopped at an old apartment complex. It was the place my parents left me. 2 bedrooms, 1 living room, yellowing walls and the living room light only turned on after I pressed the switch 3 times. I pushed my suitcase against the wall and sat on the couch for a long time. Then my phone buzzed. It was a message from Liu Ruoyan. "He Wenjo, you signed the agreement yourself. Leaving with nothing was your choice too. Don't come crying to me later." I stared at those lines and suddenly laughed. 7 years ago, she used to message me like this too, one after another. Back when she first chased me, she sent me 99 WeChat messages on the first day of a business trip. "Wenjo, did you eat? Wenjo, it's raining outside. Remember your umbrella? Wenjo, I miss you so much." Later, she rarely called me Wenjo anymore. She called me he Wenjo. "Mister, hey, can you stop being so annoying?" Until Yin Yin appeared. Her profile picture was a little cat standing in the rain. When she added me for the first time, she said, "Hey, I saw you at the convenience store today. You looked really tired." I shouldn't have accepted her request, but that day, I had just come back from the hospital. The doctor pushed the report in front of me and spoke softly. "Mr. He, your dilated cardiomyopathy has entered the end stage. Without a transplant, your risk of sudden death is very high. Where is your wife? Your family should hear this, too." I held the report in my hand for a long time, then said, "I don't have one." The doctor glanced at the wedding ring on my finger, and didn't ask again. That night, Yanin sent me a second message. "It's cold. Okay, wear something warmer." It was such an ordinary sentence, but I stared at it for a long time because 7 years ago, Liu Ruoyan used to take care of me like that, too. She would wrap a scarf around my neck again and again, frowning as she scolded me. "Wenjo, do you think you're made of steel? If you get sick from the cold, I'm the one who'll feel bad." "Yin Yin, who are you?" She replied quickly. "Just someone passing by and someone who really wants to make you happy." Actually, I already knew something was wrong, but I still kept talking to her, because the real Liu Ruoyan hadn't spoken to me like that in a long time. My phone lit up again. This time it was Yin Yin. "Did you get home?" My fingers hovered over the screen. After a while, I replied with one word. "Yeah." The other side went silent for a few seconds. "Did she hurt you?" I looked at that sentence and my eyes suddenly stung. Liu Ruoyan was using her own fake account to ask me whether she herself had hurt me. How ridiculous. "No, I'm free now." Yin Yin replied quickly. "That's good. From now on, I'll stay with you." I put my phone face down on the table. No need. I didn't have a from now on anymore. The next morning, Liu Ruoyan had her lawyer send me a supplemental agreement. The lawyer sounded all business. "Mr. He," Miss Liu said, "if you record a video admitting you cheated during the marriage, she can give you an extra 1 million. What if I don't record it? Then the chat records, hotel photos and the agreement you signed will be sent to both sides, friends and family." Miss Liu also said that if you don't cooperate, she'll send them to your work group, your family group, and your parents, old friends. When he mentioned the hotel photos, I lowered my head and smiled. That day, Yin Yin asked me to meet her at the cafe downstairs from a hotel, saying she was in a bad mood. I never went in. I only stood at the entrance for 2 minutes, then left after getting an emergency call. So even those 2 minutes could be turned into evidence. I'll record the video. The lawyer clearly breathed a sigh of relief. I hung up, opened my laptop and saved the call recording into an encrypted folder. At 10 that morning, I went to the hospital. The doctor looked at my numbers and his frown got deeper. Have you been under a lot of emotional stress lately? I didn't say anything. He went, Joe, you need to be hospitalized. This isn't an ordinary heart condition anymore. Acute heart failure could happen at any time. If a matching donor appears, do you still want the transplant? I looked down at my hands. Liu Ruoyan used to love holding them. She said my fingers were long and perfect for rings. Later, she took off her own ring and threw it in front of me. Wenjo, who are you wearing that for every day? It disgusts me if I don't do it. How long do I have? The doctor stopped. Maybe a few months. Maybe you could be gone. Suddenly I nodded then. I won't wait. You're only 29. I smiled, but I'm really tired. After leaving the hospital, Dwan Jinzy posted something on his moments. In the photo, he was standing in my old walk-in closet, wearing a shirt Liu Ruoyan had bought for me. The caption said, "Some things were always meant for someone more worthy of being loved." I looked at it for 2 seconds then liked it. Not long after, Liu Ruoyan called. Her voice was filled with anger. Wenjo, what do you mean by that? My fingers slipped at the act. Do you think being passive-aggressive will make me feel guilty? I breathed lightly. Liu Ruoyan, I'm not that bored. She paused, probably hearing that my voice was off. Are you sick? Don't talk to me. In that half-dead voice, I looked at the gloomy sky outside. Then hang up. She was silent for a moment, then said coldly, now that you've left me, you've got a backbone. I hope you can keep it. She hung up. 3 minutes later, Nienyan sent me a message. Were you crying? I stared at the words crying and a dull pain suddenly hit my chest. I fumbled around, poured out 2 pills and swallowed them. Then I opened Nienyan's chat. Come with me somewhere tomorrow, okay? Wherever you go, I'll go with you. I asked Nienyan to go with me to the university area. But of course I didn't really mean meeting in person. I said I wasn't used to meeting online friends offline, so having her stay with me through the phone was enough. Nienyan agreed obediently. If you don't want to see me, I won't show up. When I took the bus to the school gate, the snow had just stopped. The pancake stand at the entrance was still there. The owner had changed to the old owner's son, but the sign was the same. I bought 2 pancakes, one spicy and one not. 7 years ago, Liu Ruoyan couldn't eat spicy food, but I still bought the spicy one to tease her. She took one bite and her ears turned red from the heat. It's not even that spicy. I laughed so hard I could barely stand. She got embarrassed and angry, grabbed my backpack and ran. The sunlight was beautiful that day, and her white dress lifted in the wind, like the brightest beam of light from our youth. By the 3rd lap around the track, my chest started tightening. I held the railing, stopped and lowered my head to catch my breath. A pair of black heels suddenly stopped not far away. I looked up. Liu Ruoyan was standing behind a tree in a dark gray coat, holding her car keys. Our eyes met and her expression changed. Are you following me? Who's following you? I'm here for work. That excuse was exactly the same as 7 years ago. Back then, she secretly came to school to see me. When I caught her, she said the same thing. Who came to see you? I was just passing by. Back then, I rushed over and hugged her. Now I just wanted to walk around her. Liu Ruoyan grabbed my wrist. Hey, Wenjo, are you that eager to come here and relive the past? I looked down at her hand. Let go. She sneered. What? Your little girlfriend didn't come with you? I shook my phone. She did. She's way better than you. Leroy's face darkened. How ridiculous a character she created herself. Could actually make her jealous. Hi, Wenjo. You're pathetic. When those words fell, my heart clenched hard. I couldn't hold it back and bent over coughing. Hi, Wenjo. What's wrong with you? I pushed her hand away. None of your business. She was about to say something when her phone rang. Ruoyan's phone rang again. She turned away to answer it, her voice dropping into the crisp, controlled tone she used for anyone who wasn't me. I didn't wait to hear who it was. I turned and walked back toward the school gate, one hand pressed flat against my chest, counting my own heartbeat like a man counting down a fuse. Behind me, her voice cut off mid-sentence. Wenjo. I didn't stop. If I stopped, I would look back. And if I looked back, I'd see her the way I always saw her 22 years old, laughing with pancake grease on her fingers, promising me forever in a voice that hadn't learned to lie yet. I got in a cab and gave the driver my old address. My phone buzzed once, twice, 3 times. Not Ruoyan. Yen, are you okay? You went quiet. I saw you, I typed, then deleted it. I wasn't ready to end the game. Not yet. I'm fine, I sent instead. Just tired. Rest, she wrote. I'll be here. I put the phone in my pocket and looked out at the city going gray with early evening. Somewhere behind me, Ruoyan was probably still standing by that tree, telling herself she didn't care. The apartment was cold when I got back. I sat on the couch without turning on the second light, the one that took 3 tries, and let the dark settle around me like something familiar. My chest ached in the low, tidal way it always did by evening, a reminder that my body was keeping a schedule I hadn't agreed to. I thought, not for the first time, about how strange it was that the 2 women sending me the most attention that week were the same woman. One of them wanted me gone, the other wanted to stay. I didn't yet have the heart to point out that they lived in the same body, the same set of hands, the same restless mind that had never quite learned how to ask for what it wanted without first testing whether it deserved it. That night I dreamed of the track behind the school, the third lap, my chest tightening the way it did in real life. In the dream, though, no one came to find me. I woke at 4 in the morning with my hand pressed to my sternum, checking, the way I'd started doing every night, that the ache hadn't sharpened into something final. The days blurred after that. Dr. Lin moved my appointments closer together, every 4 days, then every 2, watching numbers on a screen that meant nothing to me and everything to whatever time I had left. I kept working, in the loose way a freelance editor could keep working, taking smaller jobs, finishing them slower, watching the light change in my apartment as the hours passed instead of watching the clock the way I once had, back when there'd been someone waiting at home to notice if I was late. Yen wrote to me most days. Small things. Did you eat? It's supposed to rain. I saw a cat that looked like it needed a home. I thought of you. I let myself enjoy them the way you enjoy a warm bath. You know you can't stay in a temporary comfort, borrowed against a bill I knew someone would eventually present. I didn't reply to all of them, but I read every one. The call from the hospital came 9 days after the day at the school gate. Dr. Lin's voice on the other end had an urgency I hadn't heard from him before. Mr. He, we have a donor match. A very good match, but you need to come in now. There's a small window. I sat up in the dark, apartment silent around me. For a long moment I didn't move, didn't speak, as if answering too quickly might jinx whatever fragile chance had just opened up. Mr. He. I'm coming, I said, and was surprised to hear that my voice, when it mattered, still knew how to be steady. I hadn't packed a bag for this. I hadn't let myself imagine it enough to prepare one. I grabbed my wallet, my phone, the folder of medical records I kept by the door out of long habit, and went down to the street in my house slippers to flag a cab. Riding through the empty city, streetlights sliding past the window in long amber streaks, I thought I would call someone. I opened my contacts. My thumb hovered over Ruoyan's name out of 7 years of muscle memory before I made myself scroll past it. I thought about calling no one at all. Then, without entirely deciding to, I typed a message to Yen. They found a donor. I'm going into surgery. The reply came almost instantly, like she'd been holding the phone in her hand, waiting for exactly this. Which hospital? I'm coming. Don't, I wrote. It's fine. I don't need anyone there. I'm coming anyway, she wrote. You don't get a say in this one. I stared at that for a long time, my thumb hovering over the keyboard, and didn't answer. Some small, tired part of me wanted to believe it. The larger part of me knew exactly whose fingers were typing those words, and that made the wanting hurt more, not less. At the hospital, they moved fast, blood draws, scans, a nurse explaining the surgery in a calm, practiced voice I only half absorbed. I signed consent forms with a hand that shook slightly, not from fear exactly, but from the strange vertigo of being handed a future after months of assuming I wouldn't need one. Is there someone we should call? A nurse asked gently, clipboard against her chest. Family, emergency contact? No, I said. No family. She hesitated, glanced at her chart. There's a young woman at the front desk asking about your surgery. She's been here almost an hour. Says her name is. I was already being wheeled toward pre-op, the ceiling tiles sliding past overhead, the anesthesiologist's voice counting down beside me. I never heard the name. I let the dark take me without knowing who was waiting. I woke 31 hours later to a chest that ached in an unfamiliar way, not the collapsing, drowning ache I'd lived with for months, but a raw, stitched-together soreness, the pain of something new settling into a body that had spent a year forgetting what new felt like. The room was white and quiet, sunlight coming pale through the blinds. A woman was asleep in the chair by the window, her head tipped against the glass, a cardigan pulled over her shoulders like a blanket. For one disoriented second, still swimming up out of the anesthesia, I thought, Ruoyan came.